Hey everybody, One of Wisdom here. We are back. This is going to be, I guess, the third round I've done Magic and Tech at this point in time. I have actually gotten everyone ready to upgrade, meaning they've all got what should be, unless my math is wrong, the necessary cash they need. That was kind of time consuming, just like the heroic challenges, at least getting the tough ones done. But I'm going to go ahead and do the Earth elements here. I'm going to get started with Bash, who, I don't know what the deal was, I just didn't use him much. I guess, the others just appealed to me more, and, I think by the time I unboxed that, I was part way through, and then, you had the whole Weapon Master glitch thing come up. But, nonetheless, go ahead and get started here. Done 8 heroic challenges. Of course, his speed challenge is something else. His health is amazing, 620. As you can see, 0 upgrades, so I should like him a lot better. The cool thing about Bash is I already know what path I'm going to pick, but then, just like with Trigger Happy, Spyro, Chop Chop, if you have the legendaries, you can actually do one of each. Which on Bash, both paths are pretty good, and I'm gonna just pick them out. But this is a side note, his speed you saw was 83, and I mean, again, Whamshell was at 98. I feel like Bash would just roast him. But we'll come over here to Persephone, and our first upgrade will be Tennis Tail. Deflect incoming objects with your tail swipe. I forgot to show you his base moves. I don't know that this will change it. Let's go ahead. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the way it looked. I didn't really use him a whole bunch. I just kind of took him through heroics and Quicksilver vaults, whatnot. But that's his base attack, essentially. And then you hold down B, you can roll. Of course, it does expire, as you can see. But we'll come back in, upgrade again. His second upgrade will be Iron Tail. Tail swipe does increase damage. Skip that. This might change it. It's really about the same. I guess the stats are where you'd see the payoff. Okay, the third upgrade is Summoning Stone Projection. Press Z to summon a rock wall. Hit it with your tail swipe to launch rocks. All this really makes me wish I would have upgraded Bash, progressively as we went. I think the Weapon Master glitch played a large role in me not doing that, because I was excited to upgrade and didn't go to Archean Armory and then had to replay the entire game. But this one will be nice because you can have it, for either path. So we'll go ahead and pick it up, skip the cutscene, and now, that's the Summoning Stone, and then when you hit it, it'll launch at enemies. So let me get over here. I think you can maybe see it a little better. Watch closely, you'll see like one small boulder headed off that way towards Quigley. But pretty cool, unique kind of defense and offense. If you slow somebody down, then you can step back and launch that at them and then go into a roll, I guess. Our next one, Double Roll. Use your roll attack for twice as long. So that'll be nice. Either way, before you go into one of the upgrades, you'll basically have it taken care of. I think I started about right there, and we ran out about here. If you note, this lasts considerably longer. We made it to the top of the hill, entry to Dragon's Peak. Note that he's got 8880, which is just pointless, but I thought it was cool. Now you actually have to pick a path. Again, with Bash, he's one of those characters where certain people prefer different things, but in all honesty, both paths are pretty good. What I plan to do is do Granite Dragon with Bash, and then for Legendary Bash, I'll do Pulver Dragon. Obviously, Pulver will be a secondary attack, and then Granite Dragon will be his primary. We'll go ahead and pick the path. Again, that cutscene is totally irrelevant. Now we'll do an upgrade. Mace of Destruction. Tail swipe does more increased damage. Again, numbers instead of adjectives would be very nice. Okay, it looks like the mace end of the tail is a little bit bigger when you swing it, so that's kind of cool. Now, Summoning Stone Uppercut. Stone projection does increased damage. Don't hold me to it, but I would think that in gameplay you could use this and probably, say you had chompies in front of you, that would probably launch them. And let me come over here. I'll try to get a better angle of it. Nonetheless, you have to admit that looks pretty freaking sweet. And I assume the boulder probably leaves out a little larger or quicker. We'll upgrade again. His final, I think it's final, there may be one more. Gaia Hammer, or Gaia Hammer, I don't really know. Hold A to charge up the tail swipe and do extra damage. I think there's a more expensive one actually. Let's see here, so we will hold A, and you can see it kind of turn into a nice hammer, and then it spins automatically. So that's pretty cool. Probably come in handy for the knights you have to take on. Okay, yeah, that was the last one. So now what we have is his soul gem. The great thing about this one, I believe we get plus 40 armor, which is awesome. And again, what I like about Bash, either path you pick, you can still get the plus 40 armor through the soul gem. You know, there's certain characters, I believe Dino-Rang and Prism Break, the soul gem, you know, doesn't grant you the plus 40 armor. It's actually down a specific path. So this is the ideal setup, really, and we're gonna take it, and it should look pretty cool too. Oh, I was looking at the time I'd recorded. Okay, yeah, so he does now look like a Triceratops, which is pretty sweet. You know, he's got, you know, at least more pronounced. There's our hammer. Here's the double roll, which, you know, you can control that. Our stone fist. Let's see what happens if we... Okay, nothing too crazy. But we'll take a look now at his stats. You can see he's level 10, got a little bit of bank left over. There we go. You know, I picked obviously his primary upgrade here: Mace of Destruction, Summoning Stone, Gaia Hammer, and then the Triceratops horns for his soul gem. That obviously, when you look at his armor, bumped it up to 55. So I guess, yeah, you know, once I do the heroic challenges, that'll bump up quite a bit, so it'll be pretty cool. Now we're going to pull Bash. We will come in with Prism Break, which I really like. Prism Break. He's incredibly unique. It's just, it's kind of hard to pick a path. As you can see, I've only done 2 upgrades at this point in time. Super Crystal Shard, which summon crystal shards, do increased damage. And Crystal Eruption, press Z to summon a damaging ring of crystals around you. We'll go ahead and do his other 2 before we have to pick a path. Emerald Energy Beam. Energy Beam attack does extra damage, so that's a perk. We'll skip the cutscene. If you note, he went from kind of the translucent blue to a glowing green. I once again forgot to show you everything. We'll start. There's his tertiary, which is now also green. Secondary, you know, you can drop down a few of those and then refract. Okay, so we can actually have 3. I kind of 4. Well, you get the general idea, you know. I don't know how that one landed on Persephone's little hangout here. It's kind of interesting though. Change refraction. Split energy beams. Split energy beams split again if they pass through a crystal shard. I'll try to set this one up for us. Alright, so 1, 2. Okay. So as you can see, we're basically just turning into like a, you know, Windows 95 cube-based laser space shooter game. If anyone, you know, it was actually called Laser Wars. If anyone remembers the game, I actually still have it. It's on 3.5-inch floppy, I believe, and probably not compatible with Windows 7, like so many great games. But now comes the hard part. You've either got to do Crystallier, which further develop your defensive crystal abilities, or Prismancer, further develop your energy beam attacks. Logically, you would think Prismancer would be the way to go. Personally, I like blue and I like green a lot more than I like yellow. Plus, not just to be, color subjective here, but the third little box set you see under the Crystallier path, that's actually where he gets plus 40 armor, and plus 40 armor is a pretty big deal to me. Plus, it keeps it a cool color, and it's, yellow's not horrible. I just, prefer the other two for, I did take Earth Science class, quite a few, in college. I don't know what the... Anyway, I'm going to do Crystallier. This might be a character it would be cool to have, 2 prism breaks to, have one down each path. But, anyway, again, pointless cutscene coming, and we'll now actually do our first upgrade. Massive Crystal Eruption. Crystal Eruption attack does increased damage and covers a larger area. So this will basically be our tertiary attack upgrade, which I don't think you get with the Prismancer. Okay, so basically there's that first ring, and then kind of a secondary ring, which obviously would be the increased area and damage. So far pretty happy. Triple crystal shards. Summon 3 crystal shards at once. I'm pretty sure I've already... Okay, I see what they mean now. And I bet that refracts perfectly. Indeed it does. I was thinking that they meant, you could do 3 in a row, which we've already done. As you can see, it looks like you can have like 6 of them. Let's see if we can set it up. Yeah, so you get the idea here. You can really send your beam a long ways. Like I said, it's like a Space Invader type game. The beam looks pretty sweet. I think I'm pretty happy with this path, just based on this. And now, the main reason I picked it, aside from being green instead of yellow, Crystalline Armor. Crystalline Armor makes it harder for your enemies to hit you. Again, this is a plus 40, and like I said, that is a huge deal. So, we'll go ahead and take that. You can see it on his back now. It's almost like a backpack, I guess, would be the best way to describe it. But, let's go ahead, 58, he's only done the speed challenges in his own, so once I take him through all the heroics, that'll be a very nice add-on. Last up is his Soul Gem, which again, it would have been awesome, if the armor was the Soul Gem. But Shard Soul Prison. Crystal gems form at defeated enemies. Requires Soul Gem and Crystal Eye Castle. This would be beneficial to either path. It's obviously going to be most beneficial to the beam. But now, when we use, say, our tertiary attack and kill enemies, we will have the, basically the benefit of having, another, shard to refract off of. So he's still got quite a bit left. Obviously the plus 40 armor is huge. Plus, you have to admit, he looks pretty freaking awesome. Kind of like an emerald green. Anyway, here's his base upgrades, and then we went the Crystallier path. Massive Crystal, Triple Crystal Shard, Crystalline Armor for plus 40, and then Shard Soul Prison was his Soul Gem. Now we will back out, and next up is another one of my favorites. And in my opinion, he never really has like a huge following. And for a long time, he was down at the bottom of the favorite Skylander poll. As you can see, it's easy to tell which ones I really like because their heroics are going to be high. All I lack with him is going to be Wham Shell. But, he's a pretty solid character overall, especially when upgraded to this point. He's one of those ones I kind of do weird things I've noticed as I go back through. I just pick and choose upgrades sometimes. So, you know, we've got boomerang, stone boomerangs, and shield were his base. Basalt boomerangs. Boomerangs do increased damage. And then instead of doing whatever is next, I went for stonefish traps. Press Z to summon 2 stonefish traps from beneath the earth, you know, kind of like Bash has. And then Dervish Shield. Boomerang Shield does extra damage and blocks enemy shots. I'll actually remember this. You can see there's the stonefish traps. You actually have to have an enemy come across them. Then there's the, you know, boomerangs. They get pretty quick. And then there's kind of the shield. So we'll come in here, talk to Persephone. Let's see what I skipped. It was Boomerang Finesse. Hold A to control boomerangs in the air. So for whatever reason, I was more intrigued by the stone traps, I guess, at the time. This sounds pretty sweet, though. So it's kind of like what I wanted to do with Mornado. Let's get somewhere where you can see better. Oh yeah, this is pretty freaking sweet. I'm just moving the nunchuck stick to kind of control where in the world the boomerang goes. I'm just gonna try to. Okay, so I guess it will eventually time you out, but that's pretty. I can't believe more people. You know, you always see like the threads for, you know, oh, it's the Whamshell Fan Club of America, and you know, you don't really see much fanfare for Dino-Rang. I'm not quite sure why. I really like him personally. Okay, now we have to pick a path. This is another tough one. Here's the deal. Earth and Avenger, I think it's probably that second picture, you get, I believe, the plus 40 armor, which, you know, that would be pretty cool. But those traps are kind of a pain, and, you know, they're limited, whereas the boomerangs, I mean, they're boomerangs, you know, you gotta go that way. So I'm gonna do Grand Boomerang Master. Further develop your boomerang attacks. Forgot to skip. Okay, so our first one is Volcanic Glass Boomerangs. Boomerangs do even more increased damage, which again, you know, maybe for giants instead of adjectives we can have some numbers here. You know, that way people don't have to painstakingly go through the game down both paths to, you know, come up with stuff on their own. But we'll take that. We'll come over here. As you can see, you can tell just when he's holding him now, we've kind of got like a tri-blade, if you will. That's just, you know, pressing A repeatedly. Now I'll try him finesse. That's a pretty unique deal, in all honesty. Come in now. We'll take his second upgrade down in Grand Boomerang. Dancing Boomerangs. Boomerangs bounce off walls and enemies, which is again going to be awesome. I'll throw them right off these rocks. So you get the idea. Let me try to. Yeah, that's pretty sweet, and then you can actually control it even after the ricochet. So, alright, last up, it is all in the wrist. Boomerang Shield lasts longer and does extra damage. So that'll be nice. That's really the big thing with the Grand Boomerang Master, whereas Stonefish Traps give you the defense and the plus 40. With the Grand Boomerang path, you still have the 2 you can set in front of you, and then here's the shield, you know, so I mean you still get defense in my opinion. Let's see if we can nail it quickly. Multiple times since they bounce. That's awesome. Okay, I'll quit playing around. And now we have the Soul Gem, Sticky Boomerangs. I've been looking forward to this one. Boomerangs pick up treasure, food, power-ups. I guess they forgot the and or something. Require Soul Gem in Darkwater Cove. So we'll gladly take that one. He'll still have a nice chunk of cash. And let me see. There's really not going to be a good way to do this. If Quigley would push this rock for us. Okay, here we go. I'll get to do it. You can see the money there. and now I'll use the finesse boomerang, and it brought it back to, that's you can see it just bringing them to us. Okay, I didn't know if it'd do it to the sheep or not, but I am pretty happy with Grand Boomerang Master. The finesse controls are pretty freaking sweet as well, and we still have, you know, the stonefish traps, the boomerang shield. We got the, you know, tri-blades. I think he's a great character. We'll take a look here. As you can see, I just like that one heroic challenge with him. Should have done that, I just wasn't thinking. But there we go. Obviously, I took him down the primary path, which is Grand Boomerang Master. Pretty happy, and then we got the super sweet sticky boomerangs. So, and that's actually not what they're called. They're just sticky boomerangs, even though super sweet does go with it. Now that leaves one character. We've pulled Dino-Rang. And it is Terrafin time. Terrafin, of course, I believe part 108, you saw me take him through Whamshell's challenge to get the Grand Admiral and Elite Agent accolades, basically wrap up a true 100%. We'll take a look here. Obviously 32, you know, he's basically maxed everywhere, and he has the awesome do-rag. I've gotten him to a point, you know, where he's got everything but the soul gem and a path. So with that said, you know, early on he upgraded to the brass knuckles. He just inflicts a ton of damage. This tertiary deal, which I've realized I don't use very much, is a little mini sharks, which will actually eventually damage enemies. His secondary one, he burrows, which is totally unique. He hums as well, which a lot of people are a fan of. The developers actually say it's bad romance, I believe. But then, when you press A, he does the belly slam. If Terrafin could swim, you know, I realize he's a you know, dirt shark, if you will. That's how he found, you know, Drill Sergeant burrowing. But if he could go in water as well, I mean, he would just be, I mean, it would be ridiculous. But anyway, I know what path I'm going to take here. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, and we're finally going to make it happen. Okay, you got two choices here. His primary upgrade would be Brawler, which would basically, it just turns him into a complete, you know, beast for close quarter stuff. That said, I feel like he is already pretty dadgum good in close quarters. Sandhog, you know, it may not seem that appealing at first, but there is one big reason I want this. I think the 3 upgrades is going to be increased speed when you burrow, which is going to be awesome. And then I think you can launch the mini sharks while burrowed. But then that third one, you actually get to damage enemies with your dorsal fin. That's going to be huge, because now not only is burrowing serving as a defensive strategy, but you also, while burrowed for defense, can go through your enemies. And then the soul gem is actually going to be where, while burrowed, you can pick up, say, you know, a pie from Darklight Crypt or a cupcake or chili dog and get some health back, which would be awesome if real life was like that. Now that I think of it, you know, you feel like crap and you eat a chili dog and you're magically better. But obviously I'm a big fan. He is another character. If he wasn't in an adventure pack, I probably would have already done it. I mean, I've sunk a ton of money into this, but you know, like when I got the extra cinder because I found the triple pack with lightning rod and Zook, I mean, if it would have been Terra, I mean, basically what I'm getting at is, for me personally, he's one of those characters I'd love to have a second Terrafin, just so I could have one that's actually down the brawler path and then just, you know, use them as I wish. But I'm gonna go ahead and do Sandhog. We'll skip the pointless cutscene there. Whoops. Plus, you know, Terrafin hits Persephone. So. Okay, our first one here, Master Earth Swimmer, increase speed while burrowing. Oh yeah, this is awesome. And then you can unleash the fury of the belly flop. So that's very cool. And like I said, it makes him totally unique. We will upgrade again. We would get the Homing Frenzy. Mini Sharks home in on enemies and do extra damage. So we'll skip that. We'll press the Z button. You can kind of see they glow. I assume that's to show that they home in. And you can, as you can see, launch the homing sharks while you burrow. So that's pretty awesome. Now our final upgrade down this path is going to be Razor Fin. While burrowed, your dorsal fin does damage to enemies, which, like I said, is going to be amazing. And it looks pretty sweet too. Now he's got the larger dorsal fin. I'm not a big fan of it on his back. I kind of liked him the way he was, but it looks pretty sweet when you burrow. And now all we lack is his soul gem. So we will come in. As you can see, Surface Feeder collects power-ups while burrowed, requires soul gem and pirate seas. Skip the cutscene. We will burrow, launch some mini sharks, head over here, kill some sheep. Okay, well, okay. So I've got that over there, the gem we're going to collect. So we'll burrow. As you can see, we picked it up. Terrafin is officially a beast now. In all honesty, the entire Earth element is pretty amazing. There's really not a weak character or anything. Again, my personal rankings will be coming up soon after I've upgraded everyone and played them. But here's a final look. Terrafin, all 32 challenges, everything's maxed. We went down the Sandhog path and picked up his soul gem. And that actually wraps it up for the Earth element. Obviously, I'd done a little bit with most of them, and then Bash, we had to take through everything. But there you have it. We have the entire fleet of the Earth element Skylanders taken care of, fully upgraded all the way through the soul gems. Shortly after you see this video, you ought to be seeing some gameplay. I'll just pick a level, take them through it, and then I don't know if people want to see like specifically Bash doing something. If time allows, I'll try to accommodate it, but in the gameplay, I'll kind of try to mix everything up and feature all of the moves and special abilities and whatnot. But questions, comments, feel free to ask here on YouTube or the blog, oneofwisdom.blogspot.com. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, whichever you prefer. And as always, thanks for watching.